whoa, there's so many videos on playing like B.B. King. No one seems to be talking about this. B.B. King is the king of the blues. Well, he's one of the kings of the blues anyway. Now, there's so much that we can learn from the king about phrasing, articulation, pentatonics, the BB box. There's just so much we can learn from him. And there's tons of information out there about each of these things. But today I want to show you something that I rarely hear people talk about. Obviously, to play and to sound like B.B. King, you are going to need to learn how he plays. And even then, there's only one B.B. King. But the thing that people don't seem to talk about is what he's playing over. Now, the music he's playing over is inspiring what he plays, so it's something that we shouldn't really ignore. The song that I'm looking at today is a real classic, and it's called The Thrill Is Gone, which is a fantastic song. And this is a minor blues. I believe it's in the key of B minor, but for the example today I'm going to be using the key of A minor. A minor blues is usually a 1-4-5 chord progression, which is just the standard chords to use in a blues, but using them as minor chords. And in a 12-bar blues format, in the key of A minor, that will usually be A minor for 4 bars, D minor for 2 bars, again back to A minor for 2 bars, and then the turnaround section, so the last 4 bars, which we call a turnaround, is the E minor for 1 bar, D minor for 1 bar, and then A minor for 2 bars. But it's also very common to do 1 bar of A minor and then 1 bar of the 5 chord as a dominant 7, so E7 in this example. This is a very common sound, and it really does sound awesome. It's really fun to play over. And when people learn and practice some B.B. King style licks, they'll usually grab any old blues backing track and just solo away. But what I love about The Thrill Is Gone is that it's a minor blues, but it doesn't play this progression. There's a really lovely twist to the last 4 bars, so the turnaround at the end. So it still starts the same. It's going to be 4 bars of A minor, then it goes to 2 bars of D minor, then it's again back to 2 bars of A minor, but this is where they change it. So then they're going to go to the 6 major chord instead of going to the 5 minor chord. So to do this, we just go to the 5 minor chord, which is E minor in our case, go 1 fret higher, which is now the 6th chord, and you're going to make that a major 7 chord instead. So in my example, this will be an F major 7 chord. You can use any major 7 chord shape that you like. It's just whatever you like to use. I mean, you can use this chord shape here. My favourite one to use is probably this one, which is going to be the A string, the 8th fret, D string, 7th fret, and then the 5th fret on the G, B, and E strings. After this, instead of going to the 4 minor chord, which would normally be the case, which will be D minor in this key, we're going to then go to the 5 chord, but play it as a dominant 7th chord instead. So in our example, in the key of A minor, that's going to be an E7 chord. And then you just finish the chord progression in the same way as before in the normal 12-bar minor blues progression. So A minor for 2 bars, just like they do on the record for The Thrill Is Gone, or you can play A minor for 1 bar and E7 for 1 bar, which is what I do for my example chord progression. This is a really awesome sound that really adds a breath of fresh air to the minor blues. I think playing over this progression will help you to have that B.B. King sound without having to play anything different from what you would normally play. So your normal minor pentatonic licks that you might always play will work with this, and it'll just sound a little bit different because the progression is different. So give it a try when you're jamming the minor blues. Just change the turnaround to use the 6 major 7 chord, go into the 5 dominant 7th chord, and then back to the 1 chord. I provided the backing track for you to have some fun with in the description box below. If you have any questions at all, please let me know in the comments section, and please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.